Trump literally just said that if you over the age of 7 years old, you are no longer dependent. That 7-year-olds can go and work a job as if they were an adult. He's literally treating any child over 7 years old like an adult. And it's crazy because America is literally watching it happen. That means your 7-year-old is considered an adult. That 7-year-old, after the age of 7, they are no longer dependent on their parents. And the majority of the reason why he's doing this is because he said that over the age of 7 can no longer be claimed on food stamps. That if your child is over the age of 7, everybody know that the black families or whatever community, the white families, whoever's on food stamps, everybody knows that you get more food stamps per child. But Trump is literally saying that after 7 years old, you can no longer claim a child anywhere as a dependent, which is crazy. That means a 7-year-old can go and work the same job the parent works. It's so crazy, huh? I mean, when I was 7, I was literally playing and running outside, but you're telling me. And it's so crazy how Americans get on the child labor that's going on in India or China. Like, we literally look at that like, oh my gosh, that's just the worst thing to do in the world. But we're literally creating a demographic for our environment or our culture or our children to literally be enforced in the same type of programming. So if you're turning 8 years old this year, you better start filling out some Home Depot applications. And mamas, no more claiming them 8-year-olds on them food stamps to get more money.
So in the Republican bill, the big, beautiful bill, one of the things that they are changing is the age of dependence. And they're saying that once a kid hits like 8 years old, that it's not going to be a dependent anymore. And that age seems really random, but I don't know if you guys know this. When they build prisons, right, when they're going to build a prison in the area and they're going to decide how many beds that prison needs in that area, they'd make that basis off of 3rd grade test scores and reading levels. So if in the 3rd grade, test score and reading levels are below average, it's going to show that this group of school-age children in the 3rd grade more likely will be in jail. And so they will make the beds based on that 3rd grade like list. Well, how old are you in 3rd grade? You're 8. So that might be why they're changing that age to 8 years old.
Trump is changing the dependent age from 18 to 7. So I just need to know in August, are we sending them back to school or are we sending them to work? Because if the dependent age is now 7, you trying to say they dependent. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day, they used to work at that age, right? So is he trying to tell us that they need to go back to work? Because I don't think Trump know that these kids ain't regular kids. These kids will flip out if they ain't got they tablets. Now, is we putting them in IT? Is we teaching them kids how to code? They might like that. They might like that. We're going to have to figure out them some jobs because they ain't going to do regular jobs. They barely listen to them teachers. Like, these employers is about to catch hell. They gonna be babysitters. And don't put me at the same company as my kids. I don't want to work with them. I already got to be with them at home. Like, y'all done already took them out of school, so now y'all want them to work, and then don't put them as the same company as me. Like, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. Like, and how much is you paying these kids? Because if you my 7-year-old he needs to get paid well. He can't work for pennies. So that ain't gonna work either. Then you can't even disrespect that kids, because now they gotta leave their job to go to this job. They gonna probably, oh my Lord, Trump ain't thinking this out. He ain't thinking this out clearly. And then the big families is definitely gonna get the most, like, to hit the most. Like, all, like, them single parents, they got like 8, 9, 10 kids. They gonna feel it the most.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about this whole situation that is going viral all over social media about President Trump allegedly lowering the age of a dependent from 18 to 7 years old. Because there is a lot of nonsense going on around this where people are freaking out saying, oh, Trump is going to make your 7-year-old have to work and he's got to go and get a job and he's now considered an adult. No, that is not the case. And whoever believes that is an actual retard, okay? There are laws in this country that say that kids that age cannot work, okay? Those laws are not changing. This actually has nothing to do with the child itself, but the parent of the child. And it's only for the parent of the child that is on the SNAP program. So, as it stands today, the law is that if you have a child that is under the age of 18, you as the parent do not have to work in order to get SNAP benefits. The new law says that if you have a child between the age of 7 and 17, you are required to work at least 20 hours a week in order to get SNAP benefits. If you have a child that is under the age of 7, you are not required to work. That's basically what the law says. It has nothing to do with child labor. They're not bringing back child labor force or anything like that. No. All right. Just stop listening to these people. They don't know what they're talking about. They are giving you incorrect information and just trying to make Trump look bad, as always. It has nothing to do with them trying to make your child an adult. Okay? Nothing at all. And also, if you have a child that has a disability, you are also exempt from this working law in order to get SNAP benefits. And the crazy part is that I actually found out yesterday is that the law that stands today that a person who has a child that's 18 and under doesn't have to work to get food stamps at all, that is outrageous to me. Because honestly, by the time they're 7 years old, they should be in school. So you have no excuse not to work. That's a really, really crazy law. And I'm glad that they're changing that. Because there are a whole bunch of lazy people out here who don't want to work, having all these kids in order to get more and more food stamps. It's insane the way people are taking advantage of the whole government programs. So let's continue looking at more of this nonsense that people are saying about this.
Y'all better wake the fuck up and see what's going on around you. Cause this shit getting dangerous, y'all. Just when you thought shit couldn't get even crazier in this country, they hit you with this shit. They really try to define what a dependent child is, y'all. Not 18 anymore. Not even 16. They dropped it all the way down to 7, y'all. 7 years old. But yet they want us to have more children. How that work? So essentially, that would mean if your child is like 8, 10, 12, 15, you get no more help. No more support. You don't get no benefits, period. In what world does it make it right after the age of 7, they stop needing help? What? Make it make sense, bruh. Y'all gotta understand, if they can bring something like this on the table, nothing is off limits. They are really out here trying to rewrite the laws of survival and hoping people is too distracted to notice. And I noticed that because it's a lot of shit going on around the world. So I'm saying this before it's too late. Pay attention, ask questions, and don't let silence be the reason why something like this can happen.
So let me put a finer point on this. It will strip $18 billion in benefits from households with children. It will harm 1 in 5 kids who rely on SNAP, and it lowers the age by which a child is considered dependent from 18 to 7. No one I know would argue that an 8 or a 10 or a 12-year-old is not dependent on their parents for food, housing, or care. And the authors of this bill have exempted families within this new definition of dependent only if they are married or living in the same household. But what about single or unmarried parents who are doing their best? This bill leaves them behind.
Okay, so I wanted to say this before I left. You guys know that there's currently a bill that is being considered in Congress, and what people are finding out is in the bill, they are reclassifying what a dependent child is, and that is under the age of 7. That's going to have major implications because I've told y'all before, we know the Department of Education and education in America in general was never meant to educate people to be enlightened thinkers. That's never been the mission. The mission is to train workers, okay, from an early age. And so I want to say the state of Arkansas, Florida, and maybe some other states have already revised or even done away with their child labor laws. You need to look into this, protect your kids, and know what's coming down the road, okay?
Yeah, so the freakout is absolutely insane. People are really not taking the time to actually research what is going on because I did the research myself, found out about the entire bill. And basically, what they're saying is not happening. Trump is not making your child have to work, right? None of that's happening. And also, this is only for parents who are on these SNAP programs. If you need your tax benefits at the end of the year, you still get those. That's not being affected at all. And I think people really need to do the research before they try to get online, get on TikTok, and spew whatever nonsense they want to spew ignorantly. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time.